Augusta on my mind. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Golfmonger Show. I'm your host, Brian Steffen. I'm the Golfmonger. Christmas time in the city. And we're listening to a song before we came on the air, Augusta on My Mind.
Augusta, sweet Augusta. I love that song, man. I love it. Billy Mack wrote that song.
Billy Mack.
Great song.
It's a week to Christmas, from today.
I got Augusta on my mind.
And we already got it, and Jeff's already got his Augusta on his mind. Listen, it's never a bad thing to have Augusta on your mind, no matter what time of year it is.
I try not to start thinking about it as soon as it's over each year. You know, I put that off until after Thanksgiving, then I start thinking about it.
On Monday, Monday after the Masters, when we're doing the thing here at Barefoot, you're already thinking about next year's.
Yeah, it's unlike the Ryder Cup. As soon as it was over, I tried to forget about it.
Yeah. Speaking of, being that this is the last show of 2014, I think I'll be doing with the holidays the next couple of weeks. I got some family things to take care of and some fun. So it's been a good end. It's been a good run for me coming on board here in 2014. It's been a lot of fun the last few months jumping on.
Yeah, we've really enjoyed
here on the golf
having you on the network, man. Great addition.
Looking forward to 2015. Yeah. So I thought in the spirit of last show of the year, we'd kind of take a look back at some of the big events of the 13-14 season on the PGA Tour.
All right.
And then possibly, project a little bit into next year. Now, we'll kick off next year with a preview show. I did this on my local radio show, and I want to bring it on over to here. So we might have to break it down into a couple of shows, a couple of episodes, because projecting the majors deserves more than the 30 minutes that we give every week here.
Yeah,
we might need to break it down, but if you go back, speaking of Augusta, Bubba Watson with his second win in 3 years there, and at the time we talked about that's one of those places that the course just sets up for him.
Yeah.
And we've said this about Bubba here on this show before, that he is definitely a golfer. I think the venue has to fit his eye or he's not going to play well there.
Yeah, because Bubba's got that mental element that he needs to have a good game.
Yes.
You
could tell certain events, like you knew he wasn't going to play well at Pinehurst because he was complaining from the second he stepped on property at the U.S. Open.
Yep.
He just knew it. He also wasn't real happy with the condition, what was going on at the Open Championship. So, I mean, you can just tell. He
didn't like where the grandstands were placed or any of that stuff.
Yeah, he didn't,
they didn't consult him.
Yeah. So he's just that guy. All golfers play better at courses that they like, that suit their eye better. I mean, hell, even I've discussed this lots of times about Tiger Woods. He's got 78 wins, whatever the number is, but half of them come on the same 5 courses.
Yeah.
He's won Bay Hill and was it Memorial, and there's a handful of them that he's won 7-8 times.
Yeah.
So almost half his wins are on 5 courses. It doesn't take away. You still got to tee it up for 72 holes and win. But obviously, every time the man steps foot on that particular venue, you got to consider him a favorite.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he wins on those courses. But Bubba's definitely become one of those guys, in my opinion. Now, he's still got a lot of golf in his career yet left that could change. But I think, especially the way he won this Masters compared to the first one. I mean, first one will be remembered for the miracle hook shot on the out of the woods to the green.
Yeah.
But this one will be different because he played the course different than everybody else. I Remember back when Tiger first kind of blew everybody away at the Masters, they said, "Oh, they have to Tiger-proof the course."
Yeah, they're going to change the course.
They have to change the course a bit. They had to change some things up. I don't think it's possible to Bubba-proof a course.
He's that unpredictable.
Well, he's got every shot in the bag.
Yeah.
He cuts the ball, he hooks the ball. I mean, I don't think you can. And that place fits him, suits him. He likes it. He's hitting balls off of tees into places nobody has ever played from. Back this spring. He just was playing the course different than everybody else. And
well, the thing about Bubba is every time he steps up, it's almost like he's got to do something creative. The guy just can't hit a straight.
Has he ever hit a straight golf ball?
A playing golf shot.
Has he ever hit a ball besides a putt where the flight of his ball was straight?
Yeah, I mean he's got to create something, man.
Yeah.
He's got to create an effect with his shot.
And he does, and nobody does it better than he does when it comes to shaping shots like that. But so when you look back at the way he, the fun, Jordan Spieth, made it interesting. Ricky Fowler, in the group ahead, trying to do something. But you just kind of had a feeling that Bubba was not going to be denied.
Yeah.
And I think he'll probably win the Masters a couple of more times at least.
I think he will. I think this year it's going to be really tough with the Roy McIlroy should really be prepared for this Masters. Because of his situation there, this one's going to have a little extra attention on it, I think.
Well, here's the thing. It's funny you say that. I was going to get to this later, but we'll just jump on it right now. Rory won the Open Championship and the PGA to end the year. He won the U.S. Open at Congressional a few years back. So to finish the career Grand Slam, all he's got to do is win the Masters.
Right.
They say all he's got to do is win the Masters. I mean, everybody remembers.
And he's got a long time to do it.
Everybody remembers him up in the woods, up on the cabins on number 10. And, on Sunday when he had the lead and he went out and he played like me for 9 holes. But so obviously the kid's good enough, and at some point he's going to win at Augusta. I don't think his story will finish without having the Grand Slam.
Yeah, I don't either.
What'll be fun and interesting, and this is going to happen, as sure as I'm sitting here and we're talking about it right now, they'll start comparing when was the last time anybody won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Even though it's looping over the calendar year or the 2 seasons, 3 majors in a row, they'll be talking about that because Tiger won when he won all 4 in a row. He didn't win them all in the same year. He wrapped around the calendar too, so they'll be doing those comparisons. Obviously, Rory can do it.
Sure,
it'll be interesting. But so they'll be talking about, can Bubba repeat? Can Rory win? Can Ricky Fowler finally get over the hump? Can Jordan Spieth come back after what happened last year? Tiger's healthy and playing. Is this the one that can get Tiger back on track because it's his favorite place to play? Can that be?
I think we're in for some of the best golf we have ever witnessed.
There's a lot of storylines going into next year's.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping for Ricky Fowler, because he's been laying the foundation for really improving his game.
Yeah,
and it's all there for him now. He's been so close.
And I don't know that it has to be the Masters, or I think Ricky Fowler will win the Masters, but I'd like to see next year him get one of them.
Yeah.
Just to validate what he did this year.
Yeah.
And actually, year before he played well in most of the majors as well, back in 2013. But, it'd be nice to see him validate. What I don't want to see, and my fear is, because he was so close this year, when he gets to next year, is he going to put a little extra pressure on himself, and is he actually going to step back and not play as well in the majors?
Yeah.
I don't really see that happening. I'm hoping against it, but that's something else to watch out for as well. But there's so many storylines that we'll have going into the Masters, barring everybody still healthy and no issues. Dustin Johnson will be back.
Yeah.
And presumably better mentally and ready to go, and obviously, but he'll have distractions of a pregnant wife and whatever, or so
He may need those.
It's interesting
to stay focused.
It'll
on
be
golf.
interesting to see. I mean, there's so much that'll be going on,
and it's good. We're kind of seeing, and we've talked about this. It's nothing new. I mean, the changing of the guard.
Yeah.
You got this whole new younger group who've really proven.
Sure.
You got Billy Horschel. I mean,
what's he going to do? He hasn't really played much since he won the FedEx Cup.
Yeah.
So, what does that do for his confidence in his game going into next year? I mean, he's going to start being on everybody's. That list is starting to get longer and longer, or compressed, I should say, not necessarily longer, of who's the best player without a major.
Yep.
Dustin's definitely on that list.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Fowler's worked his way onto that list.
Right.
Can Billy Horschel be a guy to work himself onto that list? There's tons of possibilities.
I'm
there.
incredibly excited about the coming season.
And it'll be interesting to see, because then all the stories could possibly be different after Augusta, moving into the players in the USO in the summer, depending on who wins.
Yeah.
Or if Rory wins, the stories almost get delayed, or not delayed, carried on further.
Yeah.
Because now you're still talking about, okay, now can Rory win a fourth one in a row? Can he's got the Grand Slam, but now can he hold all 4 trophies at one time, like Tiger did? Can he win that? It's at Whistling Straits.
Yeah.
Dustin will be back. Keimer won there. Can he defend the U.S. Open at a place where he won his first U.S. Open?
Yeah.
Or excuse me, where he won the PGA.
Yeah, it was PGA.
It was a PGA where he won the PGA. Can he defend the U.S. Open on a course he's already won a major at? Can Dustin get retribution from what happened at Whistling Straits at the PGA? I mean, you want to talk about the story shifting.
And then there's the Tiger element.
Well, and that's it. And then if Tiger doesn't win, then there's still the Tiger element, because especially if he's playing decent.
Yeah.
If he's still playing like he played when he first came back at the Hero a couple weeks ago, which if anybody thought he was going to come there and play well, you're just an idiot. But if he's showing signs, then there's that conversation. Then obviously, until he stops playing, there will be the Phil, or he wins it, there will be the Phil conversation at the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
I don't know that I think that Whistling Straits is a course that's Phil friendly. I don't expect him to win the Open this year, which probably means he will. When we get down to it. But but you'll always have that story at the Open until he either retires or he wins it.
Yep.
So there's just be a lot moving into that, and obviously looking back, just move on to our looking back. U.S. Open, Keimer there's not much to say about the Open other than what everybody else did.
Yeah.
I mean, Keimer ran out to a 10-stroke lead after 36 holes, and then he just continued to play so steady and well that nobody could make a move.
He played within himself so well too.
Well, and again, you want to talk about a guy who played the course differently than everybody else.
Yep. Well, he putted from off the green.
That's
how many times?
In a different way than Bubba did. Bubba overpowered Augusta and was just hitting tee-balls into places that are just absurd. Keimer didn't do that. What he did, once he got 50 yards and into the green, he had his putter out.
Yeah.
And he just managed the short game part of number 2 better than anybody.
He took a lot of potential things out of play.
He did.
What he did.
He did.
Yeah.
What he did is he decided, I'm putting everything.
Yep.
And it worked for him. And the putter was hot. I mean, he made some incredible putts those first couple of days and then even, as the gap started to maybe, Ricky started to get in, he's only 7 strokes back. Well, then he made a couple of birds and whatnot. But the story, number 2 was the course itself and the change they made in the design, where they went back to the no rough in the sand. That was just as big of a story as the course itself, as the event.
Yeah.
The historic, changing, going back to the original setup. And
I think that a story that I think you're going to see come from that is how that design is going to affect golf courses all over the world.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of golf courses that need some renovation. The whole issue of water shortages is prevalent. The cost of maintenance
cost compared to with the lack of rounds. How long will it be before we start seeing other courses following that footprint? Obviously, you can't go sand and grass and all that everywhere, because if you're up north, you can't.
Yeah.
Depending regionally, you have to make the adjustments to what your topsoil is and what you
Sure.
can do, but it'll be interesting to see. But I mean, really, and we all thought the way Keimer won that after winning the Players that he was just going to run into the summer and possibly do what turns out Rory ended up doing. I mean, Rory hadn't been playing great. No reason to think that he was going to go out and win the Open and win the PGA until he won.
Yeah, and during that stretch, again, to talk about this again, is we went through a period of time to where it seemed that he would never lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how could you imagine anybody else winning?
It did. And he, he kind of ran away with, he didn't run away with the Open, but the way he won the Open. Like, anytime Sergio or Ricky got close, he would put down the gas and stretch it back out.
Yep.
And then he would make some pars, and they might make a birdie run and, cut it down, and then he'd hit the gas. It was like, anytime he thought someone was threatening, he would, you guys, I can actually see you in my rearview mirror now?
Yeah.
Well, here, let me make a birdie. Or let me eagle 16
Take
again.
this. Yeah.
let me show you fellas that it's okay that they've already engraved my name on the trophy because it's not coming off. They're not going to have to fix that. I'm winning. And he did the same thing. What was fun about the PGA was the drama coming down the stretch with Ricky and Phil and Rory, and they're playing in the dark, and you got the no name. What was that kid's name? I felt bad for him. That European.
Oh yeah.
Kid. I felt he was playing in the final group, and he just totally got.
He had played pretty good.
He did.
He played pretty good up until the final day. That obviously, or he wouldn't have been there.
Right. No, he did. It just poor kid just got overshadowed by, the giant names that were on the leaderboard. I'm pulling it up right now here on the trusty iPad. Rory, Phil, Heinrich Stenson. They were all right there waiting to Bernd Wiesberger. Wasn't that the kid's name?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah. And then the controversy at the end where they played the last. As a fan, I thought it was great. They played, the last hole together?
Yeah.
As a foursome?
Yeah, they played up. Yeah.
But then after Phil coming out and saying he didn't like it, he thought we were just playing up. We weren't going to actually play together. I might have played my last shots a little different.
Yeah.
Because Rory got to stand right there and see what we were doing. But then Phil almost made that bomb of a putt. Ricky, Ricky had a chance, that would have forced Rory to have to make his last.
Yep.
I mean, the drama was spectacular because then it was like, are they going to run out of dart? Are we going to have to come back tomorrow? Are we going to, it was a fun. The PGA, which is unfortunately, and no PGA pro likes to hear this because it's their tournament, but the PGA is usually the forgotten major.
Yep.
Because it's August, it's the end of the summer, college and NFL football right around the corner. People are already looking to that. Kids are getting ready to go back to school. There's a lot going on in the world. People are taking their last summer vacations, and there's a major championship this week.
Yeah.
It just a lot of times it just seems to get overlooked. There's not the trophy doesn't seem as special. It's not Augusta. It's not our national championship. The Open Championship is the granddaddy of them all. Oh, and by the way, we have the PGA. It's a major, but it almost seems like it gets forgotten sometimes in the shuffle. And man, it was the most exciting one of all of them. And it'd be interesting. They go to where's it going to this year? I lost my spot here to look it up. Wait, the PGA's going to Whistling Straits. What did I say? The U.S. Open was going there. I think I got them backwards. The U.S. Open's going to Chambers Bay in Washington. The the PGA's going back to Whistling Straits. I mixed up the courses when we were talking about that earlier. And then you go from the PGA into the FedEx Cup, which we all just assumed Rory was going to win. Like you said, during that stretch where he's winning everything, there's no way he's not going to win. And then you're like, well, if he doesn't, because of the points, it might be Keimer because he's been playing well. He's up there. Bubba was high on points because of winning the Masters, and maybe it could be him, but probably not. It's going to be, Jimmy Walker's won enough that all he's got to do is win one tournament, maybe, because he was in first place in the FedEx points all year long until Rory passed him. So maybe Jimmy Walker, he just needs a few top tens or whatever. At any point until the last 2 weeks, did we even mention Billy Horschel's name?
Never. Yeah.
He wasn't even having that good of a year.
Yeah. No, he hadn't. Yeah.
He really wasn't. I mean, he had a good 2013-14 or 13 year. And then last year was, wasn't so great. And then all of a sudden, he just got hot at the right time. I mean, he's a flubbed 6-iron away from winning 3 in a row down the stretch.
Yep.
I mean, think about it. And he's also flubbed 6-iron away from being on the Ryder Cup team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, yeah, because you're right.
Because if he wins that one, and then he wins the next one, Watson picks him because he's coming off a back-to-back. Yeah, but so that leapfrogs him into the conversations for next year. Obviously, change the guy's life. And like 2 days after he wins the FedEx Cup, him and his wife have their baby.
Yeah,
or the following week. And interestingly enough, he was asked what happens if at the FedEx Cup at Eastlake, what happens if she goes into labor. He says, she'll send me pictures because I'm playing.
Yeah.
Most guys are like, oh, I've talked to the wife, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Apparently that's, people, they
had it worked out. Man.
That was Twitter. That was social media fodder for a while.
It was.
And talking heads like us, well, what do you mean he's not going to go for the birth of his kid? Whatever. You think he just made that up on the spot? Him and his wife talked about it.
Yeah.
They knew. It's life changing. He won $10 million.
Yep.
That's life changing.
So which tells you he obviously knew at a point his game was on, and he had a good chance to win that.
Yeah, because they didn't talk about it just after he won the week before.
Yeah.
They a little earlier.
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
hey, if I play well in this thing and I'm in the I get a chance to make it to the finals.
It's
around your due date. What do you want to do?
They had a plan, man.
They did.
Yeah.
They really had a plan. And I like Horschel. I really do. Yeah. He's the kind of fiery guy I like. I like to see the passion on the course. I like to see him fist pumping and
I like the Gator chomp.
Yeah. He's
being
fun
a Gator
to watch.
hater. Being the Gator hater that I am, I like the Gator chomp.
Yeah.
Horschel did that. I thought that was cool.
He's a fun guy to watch.
Yeah.
And looking ahead to next year, it'll be fun to see what he does. He disappointed me a lot this past year because I was riding the bandwagon coming out of the 13 season, and I picked him to do some things, and I thought he'd win a tournament or two or whatever, and he just kind of bombed out for a while, and
he was making a baby, man.
That's what he was doing. And, hey, listen, you got your priorities. He made it right in the end. Won the FedEx Cup. What are you gonna do?
It worked out.
And then obviously the last big event of the season was the disappointing Ryder Cup. Well, if you're an American golf fan, disappointing. If you're one of our European listeners, and I know we've got those folks tuning in as well.
Sometimes more than U.S. So
probably more. Yeah, potentially more than.
I always caution all the other hosts, guys. Our audience is
so
sometimes heavier.
Okay, I'm U.S. I can be slanted, and then they can get.
They understand.
Tweet me, fellas, at golfmonger. Tell me what you think. Tell me I'm an American pig, idiot, whatever you want to say.
They understand.
Yeah, they do. It's Listen, the U.S. was underdogs going in anyway, so you shouldn't really be surprised they lost. I guess it's just the way they lost that surprised people.
Well,
because they actually had a chance.
Even though we expected them to lose, we hoped they would win. So what you got is the result of lost hope.
Correct.
It's just an emotional thing.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I mean, for weeks we talked about as soon as they named the team. Actually, even before they named the team. Just looking at the potential, the nine guys that were making it off of points. Even if you take out captain's picks, it's like, geez, man.
Yeah, you look at the European side and you go, holy cow, man.
We got Keimer and
you got
and
no
McIlroy
chance.
and Stenson and Justin Rose. And I mean, how are we going to – who we got? We got Ricky and Phil. I mean, and actually nobody was playing that great on the American side.
The only hope we had winning this past Ryder Cup is if somewhere along the line we could have convinced some of those Europeans to file for U.S. citizenship.
Yes. Or – or they got lost on the way to the course.
Or something.
Yeah. But, and we sat here and I did too. We were surprised that, the Americans came out pretty strong in the beginning. And, if they ever figured out how to play if they'd have figured out how to play alternate shot, they'd have been all right.
Yeah.
But that's why the fact that they've created this committee now this task force, this Joint Chief of Staffs, whatever the hell they're calling it, that apparently we were going to talk about this a couple weeks ago, and I totally forgot. They met for the first time.
Yeah.
Can't really find any info out there that says what they actually talked about.
Well, they went in and says, okay, guys,
So
what are we supposed to do?
They want us to meet.
Yeah.
We all agreed to be on this committee.
So
what
we've met.
are we supposed to talk about?
Want to get a beer?
Yeah. Where are we golfing tomorrow? what are you getting your kids for Christmas?
Yeah.
You know, what are they talking about? You know, what really can they change? What needs to change is the play on the course.
Just play better.
Play better.
Play better golf.
When it comes down to it and you're standing across from the other guy,
Yep.
make a putt.
Yep.
The Americans are terrible putters compared to the Europeans, period. You watch the Ryder Cup, who's making the big putts? The Europeans.
Yep.
They're just better putters in that format. Now, you want to run stats at me and say, well, this guy's a better putter than this guy, you know, maybe in tour events, maybe so. I don't know. I don't do that deep of homework. I watch sports with my eyes. I watch golf with my eyes. I've been watching the Ryder Cup for years, and let me tell you, the last 6 times it's been played, the Europeans just make more putts.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. It's not about who's ranked higher, who hits the ball farther, who's partnered with who, what shirt you're wearing, you know, how the pairing's mapped out. When it comes down to it, the Europeans drain putts and the Americans miss. Just as much as the Europeans make big putts, the Americans miss
Yep.
big putts. That's the difference. And that's a 2-hole swing when that happens. You know, when an American has a 6-foot putt for birdie, stuffs it in there, gets all fired up, and the European guy's got 30 feet and he drains it, and then the American steps up and misses it because he chokes.
Yeah.
That's a 2-stroke. That's a 2-hole. That's
It's a swing, man.
Swing right
Yeah.
there. And it happens. You go back through and look at the course hole by hole,
Yeah.
map it out. That happens a lot in the Ryder Cup. And until that changes, I don't care when they pick the team, how they pick the team. If they put 28 names up on the board, close their eyes, and throw darts, I don't care how they pick the team. Until the 12 guys that are on the U.S. side in those matching goofy shirts and pants that they pick out. I don't know who decides that stuff, but they look terrible almost all the time. Until the fire is there for them to win internally,
Yep.
and they can say all the crap to the media they want that, oh, yeah, it's complete BS to me. There is zero emotion when they're playing. It's like a Friday at the Kemper Open, which doesn't even exist anymore. But you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Looks like what's next week's tour stop. It doesn't make a difference. You know, they give the normal little hand wave, tip of the cap. There's no high-fiving, hugging, except for 2 guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Spieth. And
The
Reed.
young kids.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I was preaching. I was all for captain's pick. Pick 3 kids that never been there before. And when I say kids, I mean kids. Pick the young kids. If you're over 25, sorry, you're not on the team.
It's one of the most satisfying.
If you were old enough to remember watching the last time we won 2 in a row, you're not. You can't be on the team.
Yeah. It was one of the most satisfying times during my time behind the glass here as a producer.
Yeah.
I don't get to interact a lot, but I teed off on Hugh Royer III and Honeycutt, the Godfather, your boss.
Yeah.
in here when they were giving Reed down the road, and I said, you guys don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's got everything in the world to prove, nothing to lose.
Yeah, so did you expect him to play bad? No, he was going to play well.
Yeah.
He knew he was going to play well.
But they said, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
No way. I said, yeah, you're going to eat your word.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I stuffed the crow down their
you
throats,
did.
man.
Yeah, you did.
Feathers
I was
and
here
all.
when you were doing that. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Loved it.
So, you know, it until that changes. So whatever this task force is talking about, you know, picking the teams later, changing the point structure. You know, the only thing I would say that really needs to change, if you're going to make some changes in the setup, and we've talked about this before, make the tournaments worth more points in the points during the calendar year that it's happening than now. If I win the guy who won the Fries.com to start this season, if the fact that those points currently count for as much as whoever wins the Wyndham Championship next summer,
Yep.
which is like one of the last ones that count towards the points, is idiotic.
Yep.
Is idiotic to the nth degree, in my opinion. So, well, it doesn't count. Sangamon Bay won. He's non-American, but who's the first American guy? Ben Martin. Robert Streb won the McLadry on October 19th, 2014. The Ryder Cup will be played in September of 2016.
Yep.
So that win should be weighted as much as one in July.
Well, Robert's going to tell you it should.
Well, by the current standings, it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
even Robert Streb, if you in a candid moment say, really, do you think your great play back then warrants you being on the team now if he's not playing so well at the time.
Yeah.
Of course it doesn't. Other than that, they don't. What are they going to? The only thing they need to change is the players need to want it more and get a little more fired up about it. So look ahead to next year. Like we already did a little bit. I fully expect Rory to probably win another major next year. The way he's playing, how can you not?
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to do a projection show where we pick, and I'm going to get a little panel together, and even if I have to pull them off the air and just read out there, but I might get 4 guys to come in here one day, and we'll sit here and we'll bang it out.
Let's do it.
But I expect Ricky to make a good run. I'm excited to see Dustin come back in the kind of shape he's in and he plays in. I think Jordan Spieth's on a roll.
Yeah.
See if he can rebound from. Let's face it. Other than Augusta, he didn't play all that great in the majors. It's kind of like Augusta kicked him in the teeth a little bit.
Yeah.
And let's see how he comes back from that. So there's a lot to look forward to in 15. And you've said it more than once, and I totally agree with you. I believe I'm with you. I think we're entering possibly the best professional golf era
I think so, man.
that we've seen.
Yeah.
I really think we are, and it's going to be fun to talk about every week. Because starting when we kick off back in after the first of the year, the first show we do, we'll be able to look ahead and start projecting tournaments again.
Yeah.
Because it'll be the Hyundai Tournament of Champions. 31 guys. Was it 30, 31, 32? Whatever it is. Only tournament. The only way you're in this event is if you won last year.
Yeah.
And down there at Kapalua, and then the Sony Open in Honolulu before they come back to the States. Play a little West Coast golf. So, we'll be right back at it. Next tournament, defending champ is Zach Johnson. So we can talk about that.
Yeah.
See if he can get a little back on track. He didn't have a great year last year either.
No, it wasn't great.
I mean, he won the Tournament of Champions, but other than that, it wasn't for him.
Zach's won 11 times, I think. He's a player, man.
He is. I really like him.
I do, too.
I do. I'm a
Did
Zach
you see
Johnson
the
fan.
interview Faird he did with him?
I did not.
It's still playing on the as in the replays.
Yeah, on
If
the
you get a
Golf Channel.
chance on Golf Channel, watch that interview. It's really good.
Yeah, I will. I
Yeah.
also want to see the one he did with Dan Patrick. I missed that one.
Oh, that
too.
was great.
I missed it. I always catch those on the.
Yeah.
I hardly ever catch them when they're the original air.
Yeah. I had the Dan Patrick thing set up to record. I couldn't wait to watch that one.
Because I'm a Dan Patrick fan.
Yeah, me too.
I
Yep.
loved him when he was on SportsCenter back
Yeah.
in the day at ESPN. I listen to his radio show now.
Yep.
On whether it's online or on Fox or wherever I can pick it up. So no, there's just so much fun to talk about next year. Jeff, we are at this is the end of the year. I want to wish you Merry Christmas.
Yeah, you too,
It's been
man.
awesome, buddy. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to more things in 15.
Great having you on the team, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Well, and expanding the team a little bit and expanding some of our endeavors to the blog sites
Yep.
and the websites. Obviously, my Twitter at golfmonger. Jeff runs the Twitter feed for the website at the Golf Director. I know Shan chips in on that too, but
Yep.
it's a lot. My homepage sportsmonger.com is at sportsmonger. We cross promote a lot of stuff there, and Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. Safe if you had to travel and visit family. Be safe. I'm staying here in the warm, sunny skies of Myrtle
Absolutely.
Beach, South Carolina. I don't have to go to any cold to visit anybody. And enjoy the holidays. And then in 2015, we'll kick it off with new and exciting stuff here for the Golfmonger Show
Absolutely.
at thegolfdirector.com.
Can't wait, man.
Today's show has been brought to you and produced by the Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com, sportsmonger.com. I'm the Golfmonger. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, everybody, and as always, keep it in the short grass.
Good one, buddy.
That was fun.
Yeah. My publisher's blowing my phone up. I got to go see what's wrong. I just sent him something wrong, I guess.